Power is rarely born in palaces. Sometimes it begins in sugar fields, small kitchens, or broken dreams. From Kingston's dusty markets to America's glittering skylines, a handful of Jamaican families quietly built fortunes that shaped nations. They rose from merchants and migrants to moguls and millionaires, carrying with them the spirit of an island that refused to fade. But behind every empire lies a story untold, of struggle disguised as success, of legacy built on silence, and of dynasties that traded fame for endurance. Their names are whispered, not shouted. Their wealth, inherited through generations, still flows through the veins of American high society. And yet, one question remains. How did old Jamaican money come to rule on foreign soil? In the number 10 position, we have a family whose story begins in quiet Jamaican streets but stretches all the way to America's most elite circles, the Ziadi family. Their name might not echo through boardrooms today, but behind closed doors lies a legacy built on old trade wealth, quiet marriages, and generational privilege. Once merchants of fortune in colonial Jamaica, the Ziadies turned commerce into connection, and connection into power. They weren't kings, but they moved like royalty. From Kingston's merchant lanes to New York's social pages, their influence grew not through headlines, but through alliances, especially their link to the British aristocracy through their most famous descendant, Lady Colin Campbell. But beneath the elegance was a deeper story, one of fading wealth and the quiet struggle to hold on to what was once untouchable. And yet, the next family didn't just hold on, they built an empire that refused to fade. In the number 9 position, we step into the world of the Lindo family, one of Jamaica's oldest dynasties of wealth, faith, and enterprise. Their story begins not with glittering mansions, but with ships, sugar, and strategic marriages that tied them to both commerce and colonial power. The Lindos weren't just merchants, they were visionaries who helped shape Jamaica's early banking and trade systems. From Kingston's bustling docks to Miami's quiet estates, their descendants carried a legacy built on discipline and discretion. They mastered the art of survival, transforming old plantation fortunes into modern business influence that crossed the Caribbean and touched America's shores. But behind their refined image was a world of rivalry and reinvention, a reminder that even old money must evolve or disappear. And soon we'll meet a family that did just that, turning Jamaican heritage into global cultural power. In the number 8 position, we uncover a family whose legacy blends music, rebellion, and aristocracy, the Blackwell Lindo lineage. Born from the union of Jamaica's elite Lindo merchants and British influence, their story took an unexpected turn when a young man named Chris Blackwell redefined what wealth could mean. He didn't inherit factories or plantations, he inherited vision. With a love for rhythm and risk, Chris founded Island Records, the label that introduced Bob Marley to the world. Through him, the quiet respectability of old money collided with the explosive sound of reggae. It was heritage meeting revolution, and it made history. Yet, even as the world danced to their legacy, the family's fortune carried the quiet weight of expectation, the burden of keeping the name alive. But the next family on our list didn't just protect their legacy. They built Jamaica's first true dynasty of black wealth. In the number 7 position, we arrive at the story of the Steeble family, a name carved into Jamaica's history with equal parts glory and grit. Their patriarch, George Steeble, rose from the ashes of poverty to become Jamaica's first black millionaire, a man who built a fortune when the world said he couldn't. His mansion, Devon House, still stands as a symbol of what determination can create against all odds. But great wealth often breeds great silence. Behind the marble halls and gold leaf walls were generations learning how to protect what one man earned through courage alone. As time passed, the Steeble descendants carried that pride and perseverance beyond the Caribbean, into quiet lives of influence across the Atlantic and America. Yet the next family on our list would not be defined by silence. Their empire was built to feed a nation and redefine immigrant success forever. In the number 6 position, we enter the story of the Hosang family, a legacy born in Jamaica's humble kitchens and reborn in America's bustling streets. Vincent Hosang arrived in New York with nothing but recipes, discipline, and the quiet fire of ambition. What began as a small bakery soon became Caribbean Food Delights, a frozen food empire feeding millions and preserving the taste of home. But success didn't come easy. Behind every factory light was a lifetime of sacrifice, nights of failure, risk, and reinvention. Yet the Hosang name rose, symbolizing the immigrant's dream realized with old-world grace and new-world drive. Their fortune may be newer, but their values echo the timeless code of old money: family first, legacy always. And while the Hosangs built from hunger, the next family built from flame, creating an empire that turned Jamaican flavors into an American household name. In the number 5 position, we meet the Hawthorne family, a story of courage, faith, and legacy forged from a single bakery in the Bronx. Lowell Butch Hawthorne came from humble Jamaican roots, but in America, he built something extraordinary: Golden Krust, a restaurant chain that transformed the Jamaican patty into a national symbol of Caribbean pride. What began as a family recipe became a $100 million empire, powered by relentless work and deep belief in heritage. Yet, behind the success was a tale of quiet burdens, of a patriarch who carried more than any one man should. His passing revealed the fragile side of greatness, reminding the world that wealth does not shield the heart. Still, the Hawthorne legacy lives on, led by family who turned grief into growth. But next comes a dynasty that didn't just serve the Caribbean dream. They sold paradise itself to the world. In the number 4 position, we arrive at the Stewart family, the architects of paradise. Their empire began with one man, Gordon "Butch" Stewart, a visionary who turned turquoise seas and white sand into an international luxury brand, Sandals Resorts. Born in Kingston with the instincts of a hustler and the polish of an aristocrat, Stewart built an empire that redefined Caribbean tourism and exported Jamaica's beauty to the world. Behind the glamour was discipline, a family grounded in precision, service, and quiet confidence. His children now carry the legacy, running a global network of resorts that symbolize wealth built from vision rather than inheritance. Yet, success this vast often hides a price: the challenge of preserving heart in an empire of luxury. And the next family faced that very test, a dynasty that bridged continents, blending old Caribbean wealth with American ambition. In the number 3 position, we uncover the Mahfood family, a dynasty built not on flash but on foundation. From humble beginnings in Jamaica's food markets, the Mahfoods created Wisynco Group, the company behind some of the Caribbean's most trusted household brands. Their empire stretched beyond factories and distribution lines. It became a legacy of consistency, discipline, and quiet expansion. When branches of the family moved to the United States, their business instincts followed. Investments in beverages, real estate, and logistics tied their Jamaican heritage to American opportunity, creating a bridge of old-world integrity and modern enterprise. But what makes the Mahfood legacy stand apart isn't just the wealth, it's the loyalty that built it. Family remained the heartbeat of the business, generation after generation. Still, the next family didn't just preserve loyalty, they turned family itself into a transnational empire of influence and identity. In the number 2 position, we meet the Matalon family, a name that has become synonymous with Jamaican enterprise and quiet power. Descended from Lebanese Jamaican merchants, they built their fortune through construction, finance, and real estate long before Jamaica's independence. In America, their investments expanded further, into corporate ventures and international trade, weaving old Caribbean wealth into the modern global economy. But behind the marble offices and philanthropic foundations lies a story of endurance. The Matalons mastered adaptation, shifting from colonial trade to post-independence growth, from island roots to US boardrooms, all while keeping their family identity intact. They represent the rare balance between heritage and innovation, proving that old money doesn't have to grow old. Yet even their vast influence meets its match at the top of our list. A family whose fortune transcends nations, merging Jamaican pride with American power. In the number 1 position, we reach the Issa family, the pinnacle of Jamaican old money in America. Their story stretches back more than a century, when their ancestors arrived from the Middle East and built an empire on Jamaican soil. From hotels and real estate to finance and retail, the Issas became one of the Caribbean's most powerful business dynasties. Owners of the legendary Couples Resorts and founders of the Superclubs brand that reshaped Caribbean tourism. In the United States, their reach deepened, investments, partnerships, and properties turning their heritage into global prestige. Yet behind the elegance and luxury lies a generational code, vision, family, and discretion. The Issas never chased attention, they built legacy in silence. Today, their fortune stands as a bridge between Jamaica's golden past and America's modern wealth. But every empire hides a secret, and theirs began with a single ship and a dream.